Hi, hello, my name's Ollie and this is my channel Book Drawer. For those of you who don't know, I enjoy making videos on different queer fiction which I've reviewed, and sometimes I make images about those. Today I am doing a book haul. I've done various different things this month, and it's mean that I've been near bookshops and I've ended up buying things which has been fun but bad, and it's because in my mind I'm going on holiday at the end of the month and I have more time to read, so it's kind of given me an excuse to buy more books, even though I know I've already got a stack of books which I want to read anyway. But I'm kind of having to put a halt on the hauling, so I might not do a video on a haul for a while now, because I'm stopping myself. This has to end, this has to stop. It's too much. But anyway, so I'll just start off with basically I went to Some of the City, which was really awesome down in London. It's a YouTubing convention in the UK. It's the largest one in the UK. It was over like a 2-3 day period, and loads of different YouTubers are there. Like BookTube, it just plays a teeny tiny part of it. But they had Penguin platform there, and they had a couple of different stalls. And they were kind of promoting and championing queer literature because it's the 50th anniversary in the UK for the legalisation of homosexuality. So they were like kind of pushing a lot of books around Pride as well, because it's being Pride Month. So these are some of the books which I picked up. First one I'll talk about is this one, which is in 2 parts by Lauren James. Well, it's 2 different books. So which way around is this? This way. the Next Together. So the Next Together features Catherine and Mathew, who are destined to be born again. And from what I get about this, is blurring issues with time, but it's something about their intensity and their love for each other brings them together, I think. But the reason why I picked this book up is because in the last beginning, it focuses on somebody else called Clove Stuckliff, who has a relationship with a girl called Ella, but it's linked to the fact that 16 years ago, teenagers Catherine and Mathew vanished. So whatever happened in this one sets up what happens in this one. But when I was talking to the book agent, she was just like, yeah, it doesn't really matter which way round you read it, they inform each other because it's about time travel anyway. So I was like, okay, cool. The next one is One of Us is Lying, by Karen McManus. I picked this up because I watched a video recommendation by Chris Vigilante. I'll add a link to his channel below. But the way he described it made me really want to read it, because he said it's pretty much like a modern day The Breakfast Club, and I was like, freaking love that movie. Yes, yes please. The way it describes this on the back: 5 students walk into detention, only 4 leave alive. I mean, this is the The Breakfast Club with added murder. How much more do you need to know, basically? The next one I also got was Simon versus the Homosapien Agenda. I've seen this loads on BookTube, people celebrating and talking about it, and I'm like, I need to get on board and read it. It's a YA, so I'm also into that type of reading. It's nice and lighter to kind of engage with, so I'm game for it. The next one is RubyFruit Jungle, which is by Rita Mae Brown. I actually saw not so long ago on Jen Campbell's channel, she had done a review about this, which was linked to Penguin platform, and she was saying how much she enjoyed it when she had read it younger, and that got me really excited. I had bought this before I'd seen that her doing that review, but it made me go, yes, I did well, I chose well. I think I was kind of drawn to the cover as well on this one. But this is about a young lady who's got a big character, and she's dealing with her sexuality. I think she has both boy and girlfriends, so I don't actually have many books, or I've not read many books about bi characters, so I'm trying to read more on bi characters as well. I think it's going to remind me of Oranges Aren't the Only Fruit. The next one I've got is Under the Udala Trees, which is by Chinelo Okparanata. This is set in 1968 in the height of the Nigerian Civil War. I have heard that this one is a little dark and quite sad, and I've heard mixed responses to this particular book, so I'm interested just to give it a go myself. I was kind of also drawn in by this beautiful cover as well, so it'll be interesting to see how this one turns out too. The next one is Tell Me How Long the Trains Have Been Gone, which is by James Baldwin. This is like an older book, but I picked it up again because this is about a bisexual male voice. I have heard about this being a bit of a classic, so I kind of want to discover why, basically. I believe the character's set in Harlem, and when I stayed in New York last year, I was in Harlem, so I'm excited to kind of transport myself back into that setting in 1968 and experience life through that lens at that time as well. So that should be quite an interesting one. I'm looking forward to this. The next one I also have is Mathew Griffin's Hide. And the main reason why I actually picked this up is because Edmund White said tender restraint and a great love story. So I was like, yes, I'm into that. And my partner has actually read this now. When I had all the books coming in, he actually picked this up and decided that he wanted to read it. He ended up saying that he did not enjoy the characters themselves. He's kind of glad he has read it, but he doesn't particularly know why he did in the end. So because he didn't particularly enjoy their voices, but it's kind of post-war period, and it goes through their life. Something quite traumatic happens, I don't know what, but he got quite upset. But he hardly ever reads, so it was really nice to see him read and stay with the book, because he also has a tendency to read something halfway through and just put it down. So I will be reading this because I want to know what my partner has experienced. The next one is The Argonauts, which is by Maggie Nelson. As far as I understand it, this is about gender fluidity. The love story between Maggie Nelson and the artist Harry Dodge. The Argonauts is an intrepid voyage on the frontiers of love, language and family. I've heard this is beautiful, I've heard this is incredibly moving and brilliant, so just on the basis of other people talking about it, I've totally been led to buy. And the last one is A Queer Little History of Art, and I picked this one up before I went on to go to Tate Britain, because at the moment for the rest of September there is an exhibition which is exploring the years leading up to when homosexuality was made illegal. This book gives lots of little images and details of various different prolific LGBTQ plus artists and why their work was influential. So I am very keen to read up on this. I like the fact that it's just something you can dip in and out of over time, and I am kind of wondering, would that be something people would be interested in terms of me talking about various queer artists, because outside of this book I have got lots of other LGBT art related books, so I do feel like I have quite a good ground knowledge of various LGBT artists, though I hadn't been introduced to several of the ones which are in this book, and that's partly the reason why I did pick it up. Would you be interested in me talking about some of those people in future, giving examples of some of the artworks? Let me know. Have you read any of these books which I have hauled? Tell me what your thoughts of them are. I'd love to hear about them. I will see you again soon. Okay, bye!